up, baby. You know what it is, and you know who it is. It's Shake It Off Friday, baby. With your main man, Coach Ford, up in the building. And you know I don't own the rights to none of this music. So come on, get funky with me anyway. Just shake it off. Shake it off. Come on. Just shake it off. Shake that whole week up off you. Ain't no need to be carrying that stress around with you. You know it'll kill you, don't you? I got a special guest for you tonight. Come on. That show is funky. Shake it off. I dare you to funk with me. Just shake it off. All right. I ain't gonna hold him up, y'all. I'm gonna bring him on to y'all. Welcome to the show this evening. Mr. Wayne L. Johnson is in the building. How you feeling today, my man?
Feeling good, shaking it off.
Welcome to the show, brother. Welcome to the show, man. I appreciate you coming on. Just want to give you the show, and let you know, tell your story of the first question I have for you is, when did you first experience trauma?
Hey, so when I first felt trauma, it was before I even knew what trauma was. Trauma for me the first time was growing up as an only child. And I know for everybody, different things can be different for different people. But for me, trauma was that. I got to learn that actually wasn't trauma, but it was trauma for me. I just wanted and longed for someone to play with. I'm a only child, or grew up as an only child, and all I wanted to do was play. For those who know me, I'm up there a little bit in age, but my mom has spoiled me all her life, and I long for someone to be there, preferably a brother, but it didn't matter because I just wanted someone to be there. I just thought that it was a detriment to just be there alone every day and nobody to share it with. However, I did make time from time to be able to spend time with my cousins who were around the same age. Mm-hmm. But it's funny that I didn't like being an only child, but my mom made sure that I was going to be her only child.
Okay.
She tells this story a lot to different people about back in the day, people used to throw off. Mm-hmm. And my mom had me, and she saw one of the workers at the hospital. And the lady said, "Well, I see you back next year, Miss Johnson." Uh-huh. And my mom said, "You won't see me back here next year." So as I didn't want to be an only child, my mom made sure I was only child. And I understood now why my mom only had me as an only child, because she grew up as the oldest female in her household. So she took care of her brothers and sisters because my grandmother was not doing well. So my mom didn't want that responsibility of taking care of too many kids. Right. So I'm special in a way, but I didn't realize that growing up. So actually, that was my first trauma because it used to really bother me. And it kind of pigeonholed me because when I went to school, from elementary to middle school to even high school, I didn't want to be that person who didn't have somebody to cling to. And actually, it made me kind of shy because my mom was doing everything for me. Right. And I kind of like had a introvert personality growing up. So I really despised it through all my life for the most part.
Okay. So next question for you is, what did you do to heal from that, and are you still healing from it?
Good question. So I used to complain when I was much younger about it. I complained all the time. Pretty much all my friends knew, my relatives knew, everybody knew how I despised it. Now, it's interesting because it's a big to do that we talk about trauma today. I guess maybe in the last 5 to 10 years, trauma has been a big thing.
Mm-hmm.
And we're kind of recognizing it more. Me, far as healing from it, I've been healing from it from the last 5 to 10 years because I recognize that God had the perfect plan for me. And sometimes what we think we want is not actually what God wants for us.
Right, right.
And actually, for me, not realizing it until much later in life, and I mean much later in life, that it was the best thing for me.
Okay.
It was the right thing for me. Healing from it was, well, I don't make decisions based on what the great opinion is of others.
Right.
I usually make my opinions based on just that individuality, and I try to get it where it is not what the majority may want. So I don't follow the group. I kind of follow what I believe the Lord is leading me to do. Right. So I'm still healing from it. However, I have accepted. I know that God is working on me. And a lot of times what we do is we say God because we think it's the right thing, but it is. It is truly God who's healed me and made me understand that this was the shaping of how he wanted me to be, because it gives me a better look of not following the group, but being an individual and making the decisions based on not what everybody else may want you to make. And it kind of makes me think of the music that you was vibing to before we got started. It has that Public Enemy kind of feel to it.
Right.
And so that was my favorite group back in the day. And it's like me against the world. And it's not so much I'm against the world, but it makes me think from a different perspective than a follower, like a lot of people do.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So my next question is the resilience. What makes you keep going and doing all the things that you do, man? You a college basketball coach, you a deacon, you're a human service specialist, and you're an author of a book that we're gonna talk about here in a minute.
Okay.
What made you keep going and doing all these things, man?
And I think that's being an only child has a great deal of it, because now I can't depend on somebody else. I had to do for myself. I had to fight. Now, when it comes to like the basic stuff, mom did it.
Right.
Because in that situation, I am definitely spoiled. But when it came to stuff like sports, when it came to stuff like schoolwork, when it came to stuff like working, when it came to stuff like helping people, I had to push because I knew I had to climb the hills. The struggle that I had to go through being an only child, which there were a lot of stuff that I benefited from and I still do.
Right.
But a lot of the struggles that I benefit from going through being an only child, or actually growing up as an only child, because I do have three sisters, three half sisters, but I grew up by myself. So I've always knew how to push. I grew up in a neighborhood that a lot of my friends, man, we were competitive. So we were so competitive that I didn't trust those guys with just what they would say. So we had to we kept stats.
Right.
Because if you didn't keep stats, you go back and people forget what happened.
Right.
So, but what we say today is the numbers don't lie. So we will put down the stats and we'll go back and look at it, because the competitiveness of things. So that has always been what pushed me to keep doing more and more and more and more. And I enjoy helping people now even more so than just the competitiveness of always winning, because I was a big to do about winning. But as you grow older, you understand it is about the connection and helping other people even more so than the winning, because just being there is winning.
Right. Okay, my mans. We're gonna talk about this book here. Every child deserves a father. I want y'all to see this. I want y'all to go to Amazon and get this. Now you tell these people what made you write this book. We got a couple more minutes here.
Okay. Every child deserves a father. When I was growing up, especially my middle school and high school years. The fathers, for the most part, were in the picture. And all fathers weren't great and they weren't doing everything they were supposed to do, but they were at least there for the most part in the family structure. Mm-hmm. And as I've been working in the social service field and the human service field since college, dads aren't really there. And it just made me go back to understand what it takes to be in a child's life. And everybody needs that father figure. Today, especially in the Black community, there are so many mothers trying to do both jobs. And sometimes you're not meant to do both jobs.
Right.
There's somebody needing to do that job. Just thinking maybe about 2-3 weeks ago, just hit me that, man, I grew up and I remember so many young kids grew up and we were into the point of going to study the word. Mm-hmm. But nobody is really even having Bible study, even for adults, more or less the children. So the word tells us, how are you going to understand the word unless you be taught the word? And so I know that young people need to hear from a male figure because God has called us to be the leaders. Right. And so if we the leaders, we need to be in front of and about the children. So that was one of the reasons why I wrote Every Child Deserves a Father. And I understand that it not only affects the son, but the daughter, because in my neighborhood back in the day, there were some fine girls. However, there were some fathers that had some bulk to them. Right. And no matter how fine they were, we weren't knocking at their door. Right. Because the father, there you go, because daddy was there. So I could see that from middle school and high school that fathers make a difference in the family. And if the father wasn't there, ain't no telling how many times we'd be knocking at the little girl's house. Right. Because there was no father. But the father was like the protection. Right. Like the door. Like you got to cross this. And some of those fathers won't work crossing that line. I know I was going. I ran a few guys away from my house chasing after my daughter. Right. I got you. Yeah. Okay, man. I appreciate you coming on, sharing your story, man. Yeah. And you guys go check this book out, man, on Amazon. Every Child Deserves a Father. He has his own podcast, Doc and Queen Ministries, on YouTube. Check him out, support him, and I appreciate you, man. Oh yeah, I appreciate I'm glad to be here. All right, man. Let me go shake it off a little bit. Yeah, okay. Take him out the way I brought him in. And well, thank you for having me. All right. T4. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you, Mr. Johnson. Now we're going to see if I can take you out the way I brought you in. You know how I like to get down. Let's see what we're going to do here. Oh, yeah, now, baby. Just shake it off. Want to thank Mr. Johnson for coming on, man. Real good man, real good man. Ha! Just shake it off. Shake it up off you. Don't be carrying that stress and all that negative stuff around with you. Focus on what God got you here for. He gave everybody a gift. Just shake it off. Come on. Shake it off. All right. I'm going to let you go now. Enjoy your weekend. Be safe. I'll see y'all next week on Shake It Off Friday. Yeah.